Channel 4 News has discovered that senior police officers believe the downgrading of cannabis to a Class C drug hasn't freed up police time, as the government said it would, but has led instead to an explosion in homegrown cannabis production. This programme has also been told that reclassification has led to a huge rise in the number of young people with cannabis-related mental health problems since the law was changed in 2004. Gordon Brown has dropped heavy hints that he wants the law changed back, and tomorrow the government's drug advisors will hold their only public consultation before drawing up recommendations for ministers. The police will be submitting their evidence to that meeting. Our Home Affairs correspondent Simon Israel reports.
Some chief constables privately admit cannabis declassification was wrong.
Police!
Tomorrow their association will argue that homegrown production of stronger forms, known as skunk, has soared. It's increasingly linked to antisocial behaviour, and fear of crime as a consequence has gone up. Moreover, Channel 4 News has learnt that ACPO has evidence that declassification has failed to achieve what it had originally intended, and that was free up police time. Meet the constant gardener. The 46-year-old is an illegal Vietnamese immigrant whose green fingers, it's alleged, tended the 366 cannabis plants which filled 5 rooms of this detached house on the outskirts of Ely in Cambridgeshire.
This is one of the growing rooms that have been used, and the plants here are in a good state of readiness. Not quite ready to crop yet.
It's by no means the largest of the 70 cannabis farms uncovered by the county's police force in the last year. Electricity's free too, to power the 600-watt bulbs 12 hours a day. A simple rewiring to the underground mains cable avoids the meter and hopefully detection. A gardener can be more reliable than an automated system. His new life in the UK was rather a simple one: a bed, a TV and some DVDs. His masters are nowhere to be seen, but this farm's turnover is around £500,000 a year.
This is the industry, this is the factory, this is their workplace.
In the last 2 or 3 years,
I haven't seen it before then. I've been in 14, 15 years now, and it's only the last few years where we've actually seen these sort of places.
Many chief constables now admit the explosion of cannabis production in the UK, coinciding with a reduction in imports, is directly related to the downgrading of cannabis to a Class C drug 4 years ago. We surveyed a quarter of the police forces in England and Wales and found that the 11 forces had uncovered a total of over 1,200 cannabis farms or factories in 2007, compared to just over 1,000 the year before and less than 500 farms in 2005. One of the biggest increases was in South Yorkshire, more than 800% rise since 2004.
As nieces, nephews, I wouldn't say they all use them because I'll get them in trouble, but you know, it ranges from 13 to 38, you know, 55. I mean, as I say, it makes no difference your age.
So age doesn't matter, availability is easy and concentrations are higher. In the post-declassification world, the teenage numbers in treatment for cannabis addiction have rocketed. In 2003-04, 3,800 were in treatment. That went up to over 5,000 a year later, up again to 9,500 a year after that, and last year numbers had trebled since 2003 to 11,500. That's 3/4 of all under 18s in drug treatment were there because of cannabis. Laura is 20 now. She started smoking when she was 15, but has only been in treatment for the past year.
Hello, Laura. Hello.
When I really started struggling at uni, then it was just like enough's enough and I'm going to have to seriously do something about it now. Well, it was an anxiety thing. I was getting really worked up about things and just getting very anxious, wasn't completing my coursework, things like that.
It seems to be becoming an issue when they reach secondary school level, having moved from the primary, but I mean, every young person I know and I work with, and I've got teenagers of my own as well, they all know people who either use it or can supply it.
And yet that runs counter to government figures which state that cannabis use, especially among 15 to 24-year-olds, has been steadily dropping since declassification. But try telling that to Deborah Bell, who set up a website to campaign about the dangers after her son became an addict at the age of 15.
We are not in touch with our son anymore. Our experience with him has been so painful that, because of course he started to fund his habit through criminal activity. And what a huge irony, because my husband is a criminal barrister, so we had to put very strict boundaries in place that you do not bring illegal drugs into the house, nor do you bring in stolen property. And he continued to do so because he seemed to lose all moral sense. So it's been an absolute nightmare.
She's on the police side and will tell the advisory committee tomorrow to return cannabis to a Class B status. In the last 10 years, successive Home Secretaries have been sending out confusing and conflicting messages. Jack Straw rejected calls to reclassify cannabis, warning there would be an explosion in use. But his successor, David Blunkett, downgraded to Class C in response to police demands to free up officers' time. Charles Clarke ordered another review, but accepted the advisory committee's recommendation that nothing should change. John Reid scrapped proposals for tougher limits on possession, and the latest incumbent, Jackie Smith, has strongly hinted at reclassification. The irony is that the very reason why the government downgraded cannabis in the first place has proved a false dawn. Channel 4 News understands that an internal survey of all 43 forces has found that cannabis enforcement now takes up more police time than ever before. Simon Israel, Channel 4 News, Westminster.